true, acting degrees don't really matter. If you are on the fence, if you don't know if you should go to a university, a conservatory, or just study at a private studio, the answer is, yeah, a degree doesn't matter. A certificate of completion, associate's degree, bachelor's, doesn't matter if your goal is to just be acting professionally. So if your goal is, I want to go to auditions, I want to book parts, I want to be a professional actor, I want to act in indie films, theater, etc., you don't need a degree. I get this question all the time. You do not need a degree. Now, is going to a 4-year or a 2-year school for acting a total waste of time? No, of course not. There are people who go to 4-year universities that have an amazing time, amazing experiences, create really valuable communities, learn things, and walk away great actors. The most important thing is that the place you go to train, whether they give you a degree or a piece of paper or not, are they actually making you a great actor? Are you actually walking away with confidence? I went to a well-known conservatory when I was right out of high school. It was a very highly lauded, reputable conservatory in New York City. And I went there from Texas. I didn't know anything. I went there. I studied at an intensive program for 2 years. And by the end of that program, I was a self-conscious actor. Every time I acted, I was very in my head. I couldn't stop thinking about myself. Am I emotional enough? Am I the character enough? And I left thinking, I guess I'll never escape this problem. And I went along and I eventually made a living as an actor, but my work was not good. It just wasn't good. That was the honest to God truth. And that was really demoralizing. But if you want something you never had, you have to do something you never did. I had to go back to a different school and just try to find a good one. I audited many classes. At this point, I was a little bit more skeptical and I said no to a few classes. I found one that was really good. It was a private studio, 2-year program. You met twice a week, and it was truly amazing. It revolutionized my entire acting process. It was a fraction of the cost of the conservatory program, and I was able to make progress way faster. Since then, my mission in my life, partly, is to be for other actors what I wish was there for me. So I started training actors. I teach actors all over the world, one-on-one, and what I've found is I can give people the access to their own talent, their own instincts, their own artistry in a quarter of the time of conservatories, in an eighth of the time of universities, for a tenth of the cost. So this is what I've built in the last few years, and this is why I'm telling you guys about this, because this is my passion. If I were just starting out, I were in high school and I really wanted to be an actor, maybe you find yourself in that position, and I was looking around at schools and I was looking at the prices and I was looking at the time and I was just like, man, what do I choose from? How do I get into these places? How do I pay for this? How do I get scholarship, financial aid? How do I get my parents to pay for it? Whatever. I would pray for something that I have built now. This has been my mission for 16 years, to try to find something like this and to give it to people like yourselves out there. This program will get you out of your head, will put you in the moment, will make you an instinctive, truthful, believable, real, convincing actor. Every single student of mine, and there's hundreds who have gone through this program with me one-on-one, have become, and I really feel this way, they have become artists. They have become actors that I want to work with. They have become assets to production. My students are working. I do not personally care about the status of the projects that you're working on. I don't care if you're on Netflix, Hulu. I don't care if you're a big studio movie, huge Broadway play. I don't care. Although my students do work in those capacities, I care about the quality of your work. If you're doing community theater, or if you're doing Broadway, or if you're doing an indie film, or you're doing a huge studio movie, are you good? A lot of acting teachers will market themselves by saying, oh, my student booked this or this show or that show. A lot of those shows and the movies that are being made today are not good. We've seen it time and time again. Casting directors are valuing followings over talent. What's going on? Everything's backwards. You watch TV, you watch Netflix, you realize the acting is bad. My teacher was Jim Perrick. He's been in tons of shows and movies, an amazing actor. He was an incredible teacher. He no longer teaches. He wanted me to teach years ago when I was a student, and I wanted to, but the school shut down, so I was never able to do it. So I started my own program, Anytown actorslab here. Get really good at acting, everything else becomes easier. All of my students have done that. If you don't want to take my word for it, read some of these reviews. I'm going to put them up on the screen right now. Yes, they're long. Yes, I know it takes time. Just pause them and read them and see what you think. Visit my website. You can click the link. You can look at this actor mastery program that I've created. This is basically, in 6 months, I will take you from, doesn't matter where you are, beginner, intermediate, expert already, a lot of experience, no experience. I will take you from that to an artist. I will take you from that to a truthful, authentic amazing actor. My goal is to want to work with you because I have an independent film production company. My goal is to cast you eventually. My goal is to want to work with you. Right now, there's not a lot of great acting training out there. There's not a lot of great actors. My goal is to train you to become the best actor you can possibly be. I want you to be confident. I don't just teach you the Meisner technique or the Lee Strasberg method or anything else. I teach you how to access your inner life. Everybody's acting approach should be as unique as they are. That's why one-on-one is best. You don't share time with classmates. You get really specific about the obstacles you struggle with and the specific goals that you want. And I train you to become a self-sufficient, independent actor, not an actor that's dependent on a teacher. I don't consider myself a coach. Once you complete my program, you don't need me anymore. If you did need me, I'd be a bad teacher. So my goal is to train you to become the best actor you can be, to make a lasting impression with the work that you do. In just 3 years, I've had almost 7 million views across all social media platforms. This is because I just give this stuff away. And the videos that you watch on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube that I post are so valuable in my opinion, because I'm just passing along the things that class that really helped me taught me. I'm just carrying the torch. There is nothing like the one-on-one training experience because it's so much faster and it tackles the specific problems that you have and builds a real foundation for you specifically. I only have 15 slots for the entire year that are available. So if this is something that you want and you're serious about it and you're committed to your own career and your own training, you got to reach out to me, actorslab@anytownpictures.com. I'll leave you with this. If you could guarantee, certify that you could become the best actor you could be, if you could do that, why wouldn't you do it? I'm only being this adamant and passionate about it because I've seen my students transform. If you don't learn more in the first session about acting than you've ever learned, previous classes or high school or whatever, I am a fraud. But I know you will. I know you will learn so much. I want you to change. I want you to grow. I want you to actualize your potential. Reach out now. I hope this video helped.